I hope everybody can hear in the cheap seats up in the top. Sheriff Harlan, you hear us okay? Excellent. We have a full house today, and I noticed that if we have anybody kind of standing over there that's choosing only to do so but can't find a seat, I know that there's some holes here. I would ask everybody to get friendly and make some spaces. So there are a few more here that I can see, so please come in and grab a seat. There are some available here in the bleachers. Good morning. My name is Chuck Bain, and I have the honor of serving as the director of the Law Enforcement Academy and the MC for today's ceremony. In addition to you being our on-site guests, we also are live streaming this ceremony today. Hope our broadband holds out. And we extend our welcome to the families, friends, colleagues, and administrators who are viewing our ceremony today remotely. Before we begin the graduation ceremony, I would like to ask everyone to join me in a moment of silence to remember Converse County Deputy Brian Gross. 11 years ago today, he lost his life during an attempt to save a young woman being swept away in the floodwaters of the North Platte River. Thank you. Now this morning, we celebrate the graduation of Peace Officer Basic Class 22B 160. That number you see on your program does have some meaning. 22 is the year. B indicates it's our second Peace Officer Basic of 2022. And 160 denotes that this is the 160th graduating Peace Officer Basic class from our academy. This ceremony is steeped in history and tradition. Veteran officers who began their careers in Wyoming and who have graduated from our academy have shared the same sense of accomplishment and perhaps even relief felt by today's graduates. Peace Officer Basic Training graduation marks a time of transition for these officers as they begin their law enforcement careers. This transition takes them from being an individual contributor to a public servant who must now focus on others and not themselves. This transition is not easy, and not everyone is successful. These men and women have every right to be proud of their hard work and accomplishments during these past 14 weeks. And in those 14 weeks, we have addressed them as Mr. or Ms., but when they are awarded their certificate today, they, for the first time at the academy, we will address them as officer, deputy, or warden as another example of this tradition. Now, this ceremony is not just about the graduates. It's also an expression of thanks to their families and administrators who have supported them during their absence. We welcome audience participation in today's ceremonies with any yells or cheers as we celebrate the success of these students. It is more than appropriate to share in the overwhelming pride, honor, and joy that will be felt in this room today. I would like you to remember, today is likely the only time in these officers' careers where they will encounter such a large gathering of people that are actually happy to see them. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand and welcome Peace Officer Basic Class 22B 160. Class, please come forward. Audience, would you please remain standing for our Pledge of Allegiance and our invocation? The class has selected their classmates who are military veterans to lead us in the pledge. Veterans? We are pleased to have Tim Ricker, a member and past president of the Wyoming Law Enforcement Chaplains Association, with us to deliver today's invocation. Chaplain Ricker.
Please bow in prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you today for this gathering of folks, for our graduates. Lord, I pray as they have graduated and go back to their families and their homes and their communities that you would bless them. You would watch over them, protect them, and bless them abundantly with their successes and guide in all that they do. Be with the families today. We thank you for them and bless them as well and protect them. Thank you, Lord, for this institution of higher learning. Thank you for each one that serves here and instructs. Pray you would bless them and protect them, guide in all that they do. Lord, we also would lift up our military, our law enforcement today. Bless them and protect them. And bless our country. Work in the hearts and the lives of our leaders. May we always have the freedom that you've given us. Pray in Christ's name. Amen.
Thank you. Please be seated. At this time, please allow me a moment to introduce a few of the people present here today. To my right, I'm going to skip the very first person. Next is Chaplain Ricker, whom you've already met. Next to him is Chris Walsh. He is the Executive Director of the Wyoming Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission. Next to him is Deputy Director Jesse Curtis. And finally, holding up the lead is Training Manager Kurt Taboga. No organization can or would be successful without support from behind the scenes, and our academy is no exception to that rule. These staff members are what make this basic training possible and highly effective. As I speak, 3 of our most vital service sections remain at work elsewhere in the facility. It is their collective efforts that contribute and ensure the quality of today's ceremony. These sections include our food service, custodial, and our maintenance staff. Even though they're not here to join us, would you please join me in a round of applause thanking them for their work. Our office section is known for its dedication and efficiency. Without them, we could not accomplish this mission. Could I ask the office members that are with us today to please stand and be recognized? Our last section that is here and part of today's ceremony is our instructional staff. Whatever you may have heard about this group, their pride, their enthusiasm for their jobs, and their dedication to the students that they train is second to none. They not only instruct a wide variety of subjects, they also serve as team leaders, coaches, coordinators, and even security for today's event. Instructional staff present today, please stand and be recognized. Now, at this point of our ceremony, I'd like to ask the county sheriffs, chiefs of police, and agency administrators who are attending the ceremony today to please stand and be recognized. It is not an easy feat for these administrators to clear busy schedules and personally attend their deputies and officers' graduations. Thank you, administrators, for the support of these students and your continued support of our academy. Finally, we would like to give recognition to the department's command staff, middle managers, first-line supervisors, and co-workers in our audience today. Anyone representing a law enforcement agency, please stand. I would like to take a few moments now and tell you a little bit about the training course that these graduates have just completed. The Peace Officer Basic course is 605 hours. That puts us 26th in the nation in terms of curriculum hours being taught. The course is centered on 5 major competencies: criminal law, interpersonal actions, professional skills, enforcement skills, and investigative skills. Within these competencies, there are 19 performance standards that include conflict management, critical thinking, problem solving, professional responsibility, ethics, controlling people and circumstances, vehicle operation, and evidence gathering, just to name a few. There are 152 individual topics within this course and a total of 814 training objectives. These students spent 52% of their curriculum time in practical application of these objectives and an additional 55 hours integrating their knowledge and skills in evaluated scenarios. Along with their time on campus and in these practicals, these students were required to learn independently, read case law, study written material, and determine and seek out resources to complete various assignments, both before arriving here on campus and while they were here. As I tell each class on the first day, this is a hard job, so expect the training to be hard as well. If this job was easy, everyone would be doing it. Please join me in recognizing this class for accomplishing these course requirements. And now it is my honor to introduce to you our keynote speaker. She was born in Laramie, yet raised on a ranch south of Saratoga along with her 5 sisters. She attended schools in Saratoga and graduated from Saratoga High. Go Panthers. She grew up playing volleyball and basketball, and I know that she is a fierce fan of March Madness. She graduated with a degree in accounting from the University of Wyoming and then completed a law degree from the University of Wyoming because she was more interested in law than just crunching numbers. After law school, she worked as a law clerk for Wyoming Supreme Court Justice Lehman and Golden. She then worked for the Wyoming Attorney General's office representing various investment and land agencies, and then served as the special projects attorney working with the governor's office. In 2013, she was appointed director of the Wyoming Office of State Lands and Investments by then Governor Matt Mead. Following her appointment by Governor Mark Gordon on March 1st, 2020, she was sworn in as the 38th Attorney General for Wyoming. It is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Wyoming Attorney General Bridget Hill.
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. I feel like you put to work your investigative skills a little bit and had more details about me than I would have thought. So thank you, Chuck. I'm so honored to be here today to have the chance to congratulate our graduates and to share with you some brief remarks. And I know what most of you are thinking. When an attorney says brief remarks, that's very different than what you might expect to be brief remarks, but I very much mean it today because I want to get to the important part, and that is celebrating these graduates and having them take the oath. And so I do intend to be brief today, but I'm honored by the invitation. This is the first Law Enforcement Academy graduation that I've been able to attend in my time as the Attorney General, which was disappointing to me, but I'm so pleased that this is the class that I get to be here with. I've heard tremendous things about you and heard that you're a wonderful class, so I think I finally came at the right time. So thank you for allowing me to be part of this grand tradition and a part of this celebration. The first thing I would like to do is, of course, congratulate you. You have put in the time and hard work to make your graduation a reality. Your determination and dedication to do so is something to truly be admired. I know that training was not easy at times, and I know it was downright hard at other times. And so I commend you for making it to this graduation day. I commend you for all of your hard work. It speaks to the quality of your character, and it should be celebrated. And I hope that you are proud of yourselves. I hope that you take a moment today to reflect on your accomplishments. Not everybody can do what you have just accomplished. And I think it takes a special person to first want to aspire to be in law enforcement, and an even more special a person to complete your graduation. So congratulations, truly. It's a remarkable accomplishment. The second thing I would want to do is express my appreciation for your choice to serve in law enforcement. You have my utmost respect. What you have chosen to do is important. It's important to a lot of folks, and it's important in a lot of ways. The first one I think of, it's important to the communities that you will serve. My first interaction with law enforcement was in the 5th grade when a new police chief moved to Saratoga and his daughter was in my class. And I got to be friends with her and meet him through my friendship with her. He was a tremendous role model for all of us. His character was sterling. He was both kind and stern when he needed to be. It's the kindness, obviously, that I remember a lot as a friend of his daughter's. It was his handcuffs that I first felt on my wrists when we borrowed his handcuffs at a slumber party. And then he left with the key, and I remained in handcuffs for an hour and a half. And this convinced me I wanted no part of being a criminal. I'm convinced it's his handcuffs that got me on the straight and narrow. But he was a person that we knew in our small town would be there for us when we needed his protection, would be there for us when we needed his advice, and would be there for the members of our community in some of the worst times of their life. And that's what I expect for all of you as well, to become part of the fabric of the community that you will serve. And know that there are children that will look up to you, there are adults that will appreciate you, and there are whole communities wanting to support you. It was Chief Ward that was the person who had to tell us that a classmate of ours had committed suicide and tried to help us make sense of that. And it was his strength in what was a tragedy that I think helped a lot of us through that time better than if he had not been there. And so while you have so many things to do as a law enforcement officer, I hope you remember it's sometimes those comfort or the comfort that you give people in the worst moments of their life that make the community truly grateful for the things that you do. And I know that you're all, given the training you've been given today, going to do a tremendous job of that. The second thing you're very important for is the criminal justice system. You are the front lines of the criminal justice system. You will be the ones that see the activity that goes on in your community, that will interact with the people in your community, and you will be the ones trying to keep people safe, serving and protecting everyone, every single day. There wouldn't really be a criminal justice system without you. Us lawyers like to think we're the linchpin, but that's just not true. It is you who will be there to interact with your community, to see what is going on, and to take care of that community and say, if it's something unlawful, we don't do that. You are the people that help us see the charges. There wouldn't be charges without you. There wouldn't be trials without you. There wouldn't be appeals without you. There wouldn't be a need for an AG without you, so thank you. I appreciate the job. You are the people that hold accountable those that break the law, and you are the people that get justice for the victims. I have the opportunity to interact with the victims sometimes and see the way that crime and lawlessness has upset their lives, and thank you on their behalf as well. It is you who has made them get a sense of justice in what often is a tragedy in their lives. We don't have to see the front lines, I would say. You have the harder job. You're there in the community, seeing when crime happens, seeing people on some of the worst days of their lives, seeing things that honestly sometimes I just simply would not want to see. And so it speaks to your character that you're willing to do that, to help people, to protect people, and to give people a sense of justice. We get to see it later when you've sorted it all out, when you've put it in a nice package for us to look at. And I thank you for that. That makes our job easier, and it makes us be able to do our part in helping victims of crime get some sense of justice and move on with their lives. You have chosen to be the people that put yourselves between those who seek to do harm and the innocent people that they seek to harm. You are the ones who say lawlessness will not stand on our watch. It is you who allows us to sleep peacefully at night. It's you who, as I mentioned, will become a fabric, part of the fabric of your community, and make it better and stronger. I like to think of you as the guardian angels of our communities. And you are the true protectors of public safety, and for that, I say thank you. Lastly, I would offer some words of encouragement. We're living in troubling times. We really are, on a lot of fronts. There's a certain amount of people being upset about various things, and I know that's going to make your life harder. I know it's going to make your role in law enforcement harder. You're faced with many challenges, but I have faith that you will navigate it well, and that your training has prepared you to do so. I believe that you will make the communities you serve better places, and that in doing so, you will be a beacon of professionalism and help us through these troubling times. You can be an example to people of how we should comport ourselves during these troubling times. I know that there will be enormous burdens placed on you. You may see and experience things that are truly troubling and weighting. The trauma and tragedy you may see might be unforgettable. And for that, I would say, please take care of yourselves. Please turn to your families, your friends, your fellow officers, and your mentors to help you bear these burdens, because we need you. We need you doing the jobs that you do, and anything we can do to help ease your burdens, we would like to do to make that easier for you. To your families, I also want to extend my gratitude. You may also have burdens to bear, but I hope, in supporting your law enforcement officer, but I hope that you are able to do so. I hope that you are as proud of your graduates as we are, and I hope you also take a moment today to recognize their accomplishment, to feel proud of them, and to express that to them. We know they couldn't do it without you. We know they couldn't do it without the administration and their fellow teammates, and so thank you to you as well. We know you'll do your very best to support them and to help them succeed. Now, when you take the oath of office and raise your hands to do so, and promise to protect and serve, I believe that to be one of the noblest actions a person can take. And I believe that it represents the very best of us. It is an example of all things courageous and selfless. And I hope you remember that in trying times. I hope you remember that you chose to do this. You chose to be part of a noble profession that is courageous and selfless. That came out wrong. Selfless. So truly, thank you today. Thank you for letting me be part of your ceremony. And I wish you all the best. And know that there is somebody in Cheyenne thankful for you every day. Thankful that you chose to do this and wanting the best for you and hoping for your success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, General Hill, for accepting our invitation to be our keynote speaker today and your wonderful remarks. Now, as usual, there are individuals within a class who go above and beyond. We want to give recognition to those officers who have achieved distinction in this basic course. Instructor Darren Wong, would you please come forward to present the Physical Fitness Award?
Thank you, Director. During the basic training, the students attend 36 hours of fitness instruction. These training sessions include aerobic, anaerobic, and core strength and building circuit training. They're also involved in PT sessions, which they themselves design and lead. The students are tested physically from the moment they arrive until their final PT assessment, and each assessment includes their maximum number of push-ups, sit-ups in a 1-minute time, as well as their 1.5-mile run. The top PT award goes to the student who has the highest cumulative percentile score during their final PT assessment, which is based on age and gender. The Physical Fitness Award winner completed the following: 60 push-ups in 60 seconds, 60 sit-ups in 60 seconds, 83 push-ups in 60 seconds, and a blistering 8-minute and 34-second 1.5-mile run, which was a 20-second improvement from when he got here. The Physical Fitness Award for the Peace Officer Basic goes to Warden Jesse Niemeyer from the Wyoming Game and Fish. Mr. Rippey, would you please come and give the recognition for those who excelled in firearms?
Thank you, Mr. Wong. To prepare for final proficiency scores, Peace Officer Basic students shoot approximately 1,500 handgun rounds at distances of 3 to 50 yards, as well as 600 rifle rounds out to 100 yards. In order for a student to achieve certification, they must shoot a minimum proficiency score of 80% with their handgun and patrol rifle. When the handgun proficiencies were completed, this class had a tie for the Top Gun Award. The two students who tied for first place both received a merit award for shooting 100% with their handgun and 100% with their rifle. Please stand to be recognized. From the Wyoming Game and Fish Department, Warden Gavin Doherty. And from the Park County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Andrew Tisdale. To break this tie, the firearms instructors put these two students through an additional comprehensive test. The WLEA Top Gun Award is given in recognition of an individual's outstanding performance and dedication to firearms excellence. The WLEA Top Gun Award for Peace Officer Basic 22B 160 goes to Deputy Andrew Tisdale from the Park County Sheriff's Office. Mr. Millick, will you please come forward to give recognition to those who excelled in academics?
Thank you, Mr. Rippey. The students are tested continuously as they progress their basic training. They must meet established minimum requirements in order to receive their certificate of successful completion. Specifically, they must pass 11 examinations totaling 856 questions. The top academic award goes to that student who achieved the highest academic cumulative average throughout Peace Officer Basic. The top academic student in this class had an average of 94.63% over the course of basic training. Out of 856 total questions, this officer answered 810 correctly. The academic award for Peace Officer Basic 22B 160 goes to Warden Gavin Doherty from the Wyoming Game and Fish Department. Each class elects a spokesperson to represent their class at graduation to share their collective thoughts and experiences from training. Classes may also choose to complete a class project. At this time, I'd like to invite up Project Coordinator, Deputy Krista Grove from the Laramie County Sheriff's Office, and class speaker, Officer Brandon Tillman from the Cody Police Department.
Each class has the opportunity to come up with a class project to give back to the Academy to benefit future peace officers who attend training. Our class decided to have pin pads installed on the rifle lockers. Normally, one person from each team would be the key holder of their team locker and would be in charge of letting fellow team members get their rifles in and out of that locker. This method sometimes didn't work out the best for the key holder, like myself. There was always that one person who waited until you were down at the range to text you and let you know that they still needed to get their rifle, even after giving them plenty of time to do so. My Academy shift partner, Mr. Jacob Jones, would know this all too well. Thankfully, we were able to laugh about it. I want to thank my fellow students for donating to our class project. I also want to remind you all of our class motto that we put on our plaques that Mr. Millick instilled in all of us: don't do dumb stuff.
Good afternoon, or good morning, sorry, excuse me. Thank you all for joining me in celebrating this special day. It has been a hard-fought journey for all of us to get here today. We are here to celebrate the graduation of my fellow officers, deputies, and game wardens from Police Officer Basic 22B 160. I must first congratulate this class on being the first in many years to have all passed their physical fitness test on the first day of the Academy. Little did we know, the most difficult was yet to come. The last several weeks have been both tremendously challenging and extremely rewarding. I am very fortunate to have worked with my fellow classmates, our instructors, and everyone else here at the Wyoming Law Enforcement Academy. While there were some days we felt like we might not make it through to the end, here we are. The countless hours after lunch of custody and control through several weeks had some of us wondering if we were going to make it through the day. Luckily, no one lost their lunch during those hard weeks of wrestling and fighting. At least, not that anyone had admitted to. When the final evaluation day arrived, we were nervous but ready to complete another test and move on to the next adventure the Academy had to offer. I think I can speak for the entire class when I say being on the firearms range for 4 hours a day for the first half of the Academy was the most fun. From precision shooting to tactical and nighttime shooting, the only complaint you heard was about the heat and the inevitable sunburns we were going to have the following day. This class trained hard, stayed attentive, and continued to put in the work to be better each time we stepped onto the range. We learned many other skills such as emergency vehicle operation, active shooter response, and DUI enforcement. Completing this training would not have been possible without the support we have received. Support from our instructors and staff, support from our respected departments, and support from our families and loved ones. Thank you all. Choosing the path of law enforcement is not for the faint of heart. It is a selfless and noble profession. Being in law enforcement in this day and age is a challenge in itself. Most people today don't understand why someone would choose this profession with the constant scrutiny around policing, but we must remember it all starts with one person and one officer. We have an opportunity to slowly change how law enforcement is viewed by each and every person we encounter. As new officers, every day provides us with a new chance to promote positivity surrounding our profession. I would like to thank my classmates as well as all current and past law enforcement officers for their unwavering service and commitment to their communities. To my classmates, if there's one piece of advice I could give you as you start your next chapter, it would be to never give up. When you are at the end of your shift and feel like you can't go any further and the exhaustion has taken over, push past your mental wall and keep fighting. At times it may seem as if every day you see the bad and you will wonder where all the good has gone from this world. We must continue to fight for those who can't and help those that have fallen get back up. At the end of the day, we are all human and can be scared, sad, and angry like the citizens we encounter daily. This profession will test your patience and faith in humanity at times. Keep fighting for good and continuing to be a positive force in all that you do. You will all make a difference in your community. It is up to you to decide what that difference will be. In closing, I am proud and thankful to be a part of this graduating class. I have the utmost faith that each and every one of you will demonstrate integrity in all that you do and bring pride to your communities. Thank you for a memorable 11 weeks, I believe, and good luck in all of your future endeavors. Congratulations, and thank you.
Thank you, class, for your project, and thank you, Officer Tillman, for your words here today, and for the specific effort just to get up here and get back. Now to our final award. In every class, there are those students who are willing to distinguish themselves by their exemplary work and their efforts. They strive to become the best of the best within this class and their chosen profession. As a form of recognition for that one student who continually performed to the best of their abilities, the Academy has established the Honor Graduate Award. Mr. Taboga and Mr. Smith, would you please come forward to give recognition to those students who have been nominated for this award?
Thank you, Director Bain. The Honor Graduate Award is the highest honor the Academy presents to a student graduating from the Wyoming Law Enforcement Basic course. In order to be eligible to receive this award, a student must be nominated by a member of the instructional staff. It is not a popularity contest, and it is an honor just to be nominated. Once the officer is nominated, a very comprehensive and objective point system is used to assess the nominee's performance while attending the basic. The specific areas evaluated are the student's academic scores, proficiency in firearms, custody and control, and physical fitness. In addition, students are assessed in the following 6 areas of professional citizenship: leadership, effort, cooperation, initiative, attitude, and improvement. In alphabetical order, will the following officers please come forward and receive your Merit Award for recognition of your nomination. From the Wyoming Game and Fish, Warden Gavin Dougherty. Also from Wyoming Game and Fish, Warden Elise Heisman. From Natrona County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Tyler Ludwig. From the Laramie Police Department, Officer Carson Schilt. The Honor Graduate Award recognizes the one student in each basic course who exemplifies all the attributes of a professional police officer and who performed exceptionally in all phases of training. In addition to receiving the plaque, and with the intent to encourage the recipient beyond today's recognition, the Honor Graduate will receive a $500 scholarship for any of the advanced training offered here at the Wyoming Law Enforcement Academy. It is a long-standing tradition that the audience stand while the Honor Graduate Award is presented. So would you please stand? Ladies and gentlemen, the Honor Graduate Award for Peace Officer Basic 22B 160 goes to Warden Elise Heisman of the Wyoming Game and Fish. Folks, please be seated. At this time, I'd like to call forward Mr. Jesse Curtis.
Thank you, Mr. Taboga. All the staff here at WLAA congratulate you, Peace Officer Basic 22B 160, for completing your basic training. We started this journey just a few months ago, and today we have arrived. On behalf of the class and academy staff, we would like to thank the many Wyoming law enforcement agencies and associations across the state who partner with us to provide the best training possible so that these new officers have what they need to do their jobs competently, reasonably, and safely. The Wyoming Association of Sheriffs and Chiefs of Police, the Wyoming Peace Officers Association, the Wyoming Law Enforcement Chaplains Association, and the Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission are a few of the many who regularly devote expertise, financial assistance, and manpower to assist us in accomplishing our mission, and we thank you. The Academy would also like to recognize the families of these men and women who themselves willingly sacrifice in many ways so that their loved ones can protect their communities. These officers cannot do what they do without you. We know you have taken care of things at home these last several weeks so your loved one could be here and study their craft. The Academy thanks you for your sacrifice, and we appreciate you. Peace Officer Basic 22B 160, you have spent the last several months constantly engaged in activities that force you to learn, apply, and adapt the basic concepts, principles, and tactics of a law enforcement professional in order to achieve functional outcomes. At the same time, we have immersed you in a culture that demands initiative, resolve, accountability, creativity, and integrity, which is the same environment you're now returning to work in. You are here today because you've demonstrated a basic level of functionality in the 5 core competencies we measure, which in and of itself is an achievement to be celebrated. Our challenge to you now is to continue learning, continue practicing, and continue striving to become a masterful peace officer. For this is the expectation that your agency and your community have of you. Director Bain, I recommend the awarding of certificates of successful completion for the Wyoming Post approved 605-hour Peace Officer Basic Course 22B 160. Ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready, please feel free to come down, take pictures. We've got all day if we need it. So. From the Laramie Police Department, Officer Jesus Acevedo. We are fortunate to have several special presenters with us today. These presenters are family members of a graduate who themselves are currently serving or have served in law enforcement. Our first special presenter retired after 17 years of law enforcement service with the Sheridan Police Department. Here to present his son's certificate, please help me welcome retired Officer Scott Brastrup. And from the Gillette Police Department, Officer Michael Brastrup. From the Mills Police Department, Officer Justin Buckles. From the Gillette Police Department, Officer Tyler Dillman. Our next special presenter has been in law enforcement for a year and a half and currently serves as a patrol officer with the Charlotte-Mecklenburg, North Carolina Police Department. Here to present her brother's certificate, please help me welcome Officer Miranda Doherty. And from the Wyoming Game and Fish, Warden Gavin Doherty. From the Teton County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Matthew R. Evans. From the Casper Police Department, Officer Shad Foster. From the Laramie County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Krista Grove. From the Laramie County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Michael C. Hoff. From the Wyoming Game and Fish, Warden Elise Heisman. From the Riverton Police Department, Officer Carl Johnson. Our next special presenter has been in law enforcement for 19 and a half years and currently serves as the resident agent in charge of Wyoming for the Denver Field Division of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Here to present his son's certificate, please help me welcome Supervisory Senior Resident Agent Charles Jones. And from the Cheyenne Police Department, Officer Jacob Jones. Our next special presenter has been in law enforcement for 21 years and currently serves as the Fremont County Sheriff. Here to present his son's certificate, please help me welcome Sheriff Ryan Lee. And from the Casper Police Department, Officer Carson Lee. From the Natrona County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Tyler M. Ludwig. From the Guernsey Police Department, Officer Christina Mangan. From the Casper Police Department, Officer William Maples. From the Buffalo Police Department, Officer Dustin Matthews. From the Laramie Police Department, Officer Seth Meyer. From the University of Wyoming Police Department, Officer Ethan Miller. From the Platte County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Adrian Neptune. From the Wyoming Game and Fish, Warden Jesse Niemeyer. From the Casper Police Department, Officer Jocelyn Padilla. From the Cheyenne Police Department, Officer Jonathan Penhale. From the Laramie Police Department, Officer Carson Schilt. From the Laramie Police Department, Officer Clara Shaw. From the Cheyenne Police Department, Officer Ashlyn Smith. From the Teton County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Eric Snow. Our final special presenter has been in law enforcement for a year and a half and currently serves as a patrol officer with the North Park, Utah Police Department. Here to present his father's certificate, please help me welcome Officer Timothy Stauffer. And from the Kimmerer Police Department, Officer Michael Stauffer. From the Laramie County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Rebecca Stewart. From the Cody Police Department, Officer Brandon Tillman. From the Park County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Andrew M. Tisdale. From the Douglas Police Department, Officer Christopher E. Voigt. From the Rawlins Police Department, Officer Trent Wozniak. And from the Converse County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Weston T. Wright.
We are almost there. These past 14 weeks have required a considerable investment in time, energy, and money to prepare you, the students, to serve your communities as a law enforcement officer. We have saturated you with knowledge, law, terms, and tactics, tested you each week, sprayed you, tossed you, ran you, and even made some of you drive beyond your comfort levels, and sometimes ours. We placed you in multiple scenarios that required you to demonstrate your ability to search buildings, make traffic stops, respond to domestic violence calls. You encountered non-compliant and deadly suspects, investigated crimes, handled people in crisis. All the while, we required you to maintain your composure and your professional demeanor. Despite all of this exposure, the reality is the real work and training begins when you walk out of these academy doors. The public you serve will be far more critical of your job performance than any of our instructors ever were. The Academy works in partnership with agencies, so your next phase of training begins with your field training officers, who will build upon your knowledge and skills and apply them now in real-life situations. As you encounter those situations, it is important to always act with honor and integrity. Remember that law enforcement is always under the watchful eye of the public. When one officer chooses a path of adverse actions or behaviors, that choice often affects all of us. That poor choice may very well tarnish the badge that many have worked so hard to uphold. So now, as a public affirmation of your commitment to uphold the high standards required of our law enforcement profession, I now ask you, in front of your family, your colleagues, your administrators, and guests, to submit to the law enforcement oath of honor. I would also like to invite all sworn law enforcement officers present here today to voluntarily participate together, Wyoming's veteran officers and our state's newest officers, to profess their commitment to perform their jobs ethically, honorably, and with integrity. Would all the veteran law enforcement officers present today who wish to reaffirm their oath of honor please stand? Class, please stand. If you'll raise your right hand and repeat after me. On my honor, I will never betray my badge, my integrity, my character, nor the public trust. I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for our own actions. I will always uphold the Constitution and the communities I serve. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present to you the graduates, Peace Officer Basic 22B160. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our ceremony for today. I would invite you to please join us for refreshments in the dining hall. Thank you for coming. Please drive safely going home.